Show is special because I told you, welcome to the Lord, the Overtime Studio. I want to say shout out to Eulus Kane, stronger than ever. He's here today.
Yeah.
I want to say shout out to Justin Pickett, the engineer, the big dog at Overtime Studio.
Yes, sir.
With no further ado, y'all, let's get right into it because this is an exciting episode. Real talk it is. Because, you know, I wanted to get into the top 10 best rappers. This is the Dreadlock Spidey podcast, and welcome to the web. But like I was saying, I wanted to get into the top 10 rappers, but it was by great demand that we talk about flying objects. And I said that we were going to talk about flying objects this particular episode. Now, the reason why I'm just so urgent to talk about this like today, that when we did the talk, we talked about the ice. When we talked about ice and alligator Alcatraz. Today, when Dreadlock Spidey when the research was being done on flying objects, I came across so much that was just at my fingertips. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Or maybe I should believe it, you know? Because it's like, the world by now should be prepared with all the technology we have to embrace. Well, the world is prepared to embrace the unknown. It's just that our government apparently has secrets. Ulysses wanted me to study or find out things about UFOs.
Correct.
Well, all you got to do is go on YouTube. And of course, they had the History Channel, so I'm going to mention my sources while we're here. I got most of my sources from the National Geographic, the NASA Spaceplace.gov. I even used some Quran and Bible, and I got AI overview. And we're going to call this the Project Ulysses since he inspired the information. Now, I myself, I do have an experience or encounters with these forces that Ulysses wanted me to research.
No doubt.
I'm the formidable Dreadlock Spidey, but I'm unbiasedly doing the research, so this ain't about me. We're going to take me out of the equation. And we're going to say this, that there was the National Geographic mega episode that was over 3 hours where they had a philosopher or a scientist and say it's the citizens that were getting ridiculed. They even criticized people who said that they had seen these things, that the government targeted these people to make them look crazy. And then there was a man who looked like he was of Asian descent who said in this clip that now it's time for the government, now that people have been saying that this is real and that they do exist, we know that they exist, they can't deny that they exist, but we're asking, where do they come from? So I don't like to call them UFOs because they're flying objects. We know that they're there. Okay, to back my bro up, there was a meeting with Supreme Court, Federal Court, September 7, 2025.
Right.
There was I got it on videotape. I taped a little bit of it. There was a judge, forget her last name, but she was in court, and she asked the man that was on the stand. She asked him, "Have there been crashes in America? Have there been crashes, meaning have aliens crashed on our planet, and you found the aliens?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am. It has."
Correct.
This was in the Supreme Court, September 7, 2025. The actual aliens did land and crash, and he said that I'm only at bay. This is me paraphrasing. The man said, "I can only report to you the information that was in my report. It was told to me that we shouldn't leak this information." And the judge was like, "Why don't you think you should? Don't you think this is something that the government should know?" She repeatedly asked him these questions, and then it got good from there. But what they were saying on National Geographic is that they actually created, I have here a report from the Defense Intelligence Agency. They actually had a advanced aerospace threat and identification program,
Right.
which they were set up to actually, just like they set up the Navy SEALs or the Army Rangers to go find enemies of our state, of our country.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were designed to go find the enemies that are from different planets, someplace else.
Like the Men in Black.
They were like the Men in Black. So what I want to do is, Ulysses, you want to see this? You want to read this report that I printed fresh off the internet?
I don't want to read it right now,
But it's real.
I want to look at it though.
It's real.
I know it's real. I heard about that. You know what I'm saying? That the government now is leaking everything that they've been hiding from us for the last 75 years.
My question is this. Now, I do believe that creation, this was where my thought would start at. There's this world, they say that the earth is the only planet that can inhabit life because of water.
Correct.
So where are all these other life forms coming from? Well, one of the sergeants in the interview said is that these things can fly 13,000 miles per hour.
Come on.
And they can cut through air at 90 degrees faster than any other aircraft can.
Come on.
They say they can fly in space, air, and water. So that means they can be coming from underneath some place as well.
Go in the air and then go out into the realms of outer space. So, man, I mean, you know, if them little bitty crafts you see right there and they got that ingenuity to have them kind of propulsion on them crafts, it's got to be one larger. It's got to be one larger. Those are just little bitty capsules like came off a mothership or something. Them little bitty ships we seeing in the United States that all these sightings people seeing, them little bitty ships, man. It's got to be a mothership. Now they talking about this 31 Atlas that's headed toward our solar system. It might not be a meteor. It might be a spaceship. So just picture, what was that? Galactica, Battlestar Galactica. You know, a planet. No people that's flying around in the outer space looking for a planet.
Okay. I have a hypothesis. You know, perhaps I think that it could be the pilot. We worried about the operator. We want to know who's operating the vessel. We know what the vessels can do now. We're aware. But now we need to worry about who's the operator of the vessel. My hypothesis is that it could be somebody from planet Earth that has it, hops in it, spins around, and does their thing. And it's probably a legacy of people that have been doing it.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody from far, far away. It's almost like, remember the Wizard of Oz, where everybody thought that this wizard was this great, big, mighty being.
Right.
And then when they actually found out who was running it, was this little bitty. And I think like maybe it do exist, and maybe it's supposed to be some this big woo woo wah wah. But when we find out who's operating it, we're gonna be like, huh, why? And it's just because certain solutions, certain answers, there have been perimeters and limits already set.
Right.
And we also was living in a world that was burning people at the stake, right, because they could perform math equations and actually, you know, prove that this was wrong and this was right. So
people's special talents were getting them killed early on in civilization. Because if you knew or had a skill that somebody else didn't have, and it was a female, they labeled her as a witch, and they labeled a man as a warlock. If they was doing other things, like if you had a talent, everybody got a God-gifted talent, and if your talent, other people see it, and they can't do it, and they don't understand what you're doing, they gonna scream back then. But now it's different, you know, with all the technology, and you know, with us having the government that we got that keeps a lot of stuff from us. They been had an alien. It's been alien sightings.
Right there, I want to stop you. Right there, here's why. Here's why. Now I got 4 minutes and 29 seconds, right?
Come on.
Before the show started, you had something you wanted to, you was talking to me.
Right.
Is that something, don't start now, but is that something you would be willing to reveal right here, right now?
Of course.
All right, well, go ahead.
One day, you know, I had an encounter with an alien. I had went through my auntie's backyard, and I looked up at the garage, and it was a greenish, skin-complected alien. Now, I understand it's supposed to be like 3 or 4, the grays, the whites, the greenish. You know, it's supposed to be like 3 or 4 alien classes that they got out here. Anyway, as I looked up to the top of the garage, seen him standing there looking at me, you know, it had me like confused, like, did he just take me and bring me back at the same time? Because that's how
So you're saying you felt disoriented with time?
Right, because I already knew of abductions, and it was like they always abduct you and bring you back.
Do you remember what day this was, what year it was? Sorry to cut you off.
Man, the year, I would say it was 90 something, in the 90s.
Was in the late 90s or early?
Early 90s, you know what I'm saying? But I knew that if I take my eye off of him, I mean, I stood there like 10 minutes just looking at him, because I knew if I turned around, he wasn't gonna be there. He had sort of like a traction beam ladder. The ladder looked like it was made of light, and it was like a transporter lighter. It wasn't like he held on and it just, you know, went up. But eventually, I convinced myself to turn away and look back, and when I did, it was gone. But for that 10 little minutes that I stared at that thing, man, it was like he had some kind of power over me that I didn't know about. It was like he was grinning. He had this little grin on his face.
Can you describe his face?
It was big eyes, greenish skin. You know, the skin wasn't like dark green. It was like a pale green. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was smooth featured face. You know, his nose wasn't pointed or nothing like ours. It was just like a little nose socket like right there. You know what I'm saying? Big eyes, greenish skin. He could have been like between 5 and 6 feet.
5 and 6 feet. Now,
yeah.
What street? Were you on the north side?
I was on the west side, over on Vernon, a street called Vernon. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, man, I really haven't really talked to nobody about this problem other than a few close friends, but never brought it to the light to where somebody wanted me to tell my story on it. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of shows out here that are interested in people having contact with extraterrestrial beings. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just wanted to express that, to let that out. You know what I'm saying? Because when I always think of UFOs, man, I always, you know, take myself to a place like I know it's for real. You know what I'm saying? I don't play with it. You know what I'm saying? I do not play with it. You know what I'm saying? It'd be just like if I saw Bigfoot and never saw him again. I know in my heart I saw that Bigfoot. Even if I don't see him again and told somebody I know. But yeah, man, that's my story, man.
No, I appreciate you and applaud you for giving me. Y'all probably won't be able to. There is actually a video for this, but I think I'm gonna play the
Today's first sighting takes us to the night
I'm gonna play
16th, 2025, at around 10 p.m. when a witness in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, recorded something unusual in the sky. They described a row of orange lights that appeared motionless, pulsing on and off in sequence without making a sound. The short clip, just 11 seconds long, shows the lights hovering against the dark sky before gradually shutting off one by one. What makes this sighting particularly interesting is the lack of detail surrounding the event. The witness did not specify how long the lights had been visible before recording began, leaving open the possibility that the phenomenon lasted far longer than the footage suggests. Adding to the intrigue, another person in the comments claimed to have seen the same formation of lights in Colorado. According to their account, he initially mistook the object for a meteorite, only to realize it was stationary before disappearing in the same way as in the video, with each light fading out individually. He also noted that the object appeared significantly larger than what is shown in the footage. Speculation around the North Myrtle Beach sighting has been extensive, with many dismissing ordinary explanations since the steady formation didn't match the blinking lights of planes or helicopters. Drones were also considered, but there seemed to be too many lights for that to be plausible. Some suggested it could have been a military exercise, but the witness insisted that there was no sound of engines and no aircraft passing overhead. On the other hand, the formation of the lights led enthusiasts to believe they were part of a large saucer-shaped object, but without additional footage or corroborating reports beyond the single Reddit comment, the event remains shrouded in uncertainty. With such a short video, little context, and no clear evidence pointing to a conventional explanation, this sighting remains unresolved. For now, the row of orange lights over North Myrtle Beach remains unexplained. At around 3:13 a.m. on August 28, 2025, a strange incident was recorded in the skies over Bathurst, Canada, showing a red light rotating steadily at an estimated height of about 100 feet. The witness who captured the video described the light as hovering above the bay, possibly even farther out over the ocean. According to his account, the glow was far more intense in person than what the phone camera managed to capture. What stood out most was his claim that when looking directly at the light, his eyes began to squint and water, as if it was produced by some unfamiliar type of technology. Once shared online, viewers quickly began speculating about what could have caused the strange glow. The first and most common theory was that it might have been a lighthouse, but this idea was dismissed when it was confirmed that there are no lighthouses in Bathurst. In addition, Canadian lighthouse beams generally flash due to reflector mechanisms, making them very different from the continuous amber-like glow seen in the recording. Another theory suggested it could have been a radio tower, though this seemed unlikely in such a small city with no air traffic. The debate grew even more interesting when a cruise ship worker commented, insisting that no type of vessel produces lights resembling what was seen in the video. On the other hand, the most frustrating detail about this whole incident came from the original witness himself. He had promised to take a photo of the same spot during daylight to prove there was nothing in that direction that could explain the light, but he never followed up. To this day, the most plausible explanation remains the possibility of a radio tower, but without the exact filming location or further evidence, even that theory cannot be confirmed. As a result, the mysterious red light over Bathurst remains unexplained. On September 17, 2025, footage from Iraq captured another instance of the so-called jellyfish UFO. Although no details were provided by the witnesses, the conversation between the two men filming offers valuable context. In the background, one voice can be heard saying that the object appeared to stabilize after seeming like it was about to fall, while another remarked that just moments earlier, it had descended in an unnatural way. At one point, one of the men commented that the object looked as if things were hanging from it, almost as though something had been tied to its body. Finally, one of them suggested that the object could have been responsible for the explosion heard moments earlier. Its shape matches what has been described in several similar sightings across the world, a large jellyfish-like object moving steadily through the sky. What makes this case even stranger is that Iraq has become something of a hotspot for such sightings. Similar jellyfish-shaped UFOs have been reported in other countries, but Iraq has seen countless appearances of the same kind, with the most recent before this one dating back to March 2025. Still, no one knows why this object is so common there. Theories about the footage were quick to appear online. The most widely shared explanation was that the object might simply be a mylar balloon drifting across the sky. However, this idea was challenged by many who pointed out that the shape didn't really resemble a balloon and that its estimated size seemed far larger, possibly around 6 feet tall, based on distance and scale. The suggestion that the UFO could have been linked to an explosion, as mentioned by the witnesses, added another layer of unease to the sighting. Debate between skeptics and UFO enthusiasts has kept the video circulating widely, but no clear explanation has been reached. As of now, the jellyfish UFO recorded over Iraq remains unidentified. But before we move to the next sighting, if you've been enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. It's free and it really supports the channel. On the night of October 24th, 2024, at around 11 p.m., a witness in Phoenix, Arizona, recorded an unusual object in the sky while walking their dogs. In the video, a glowing object with a greenish-yellow hue can be seen hovering high above the city's night sky. Just a few seconds in, the object drifts behind a tree, but the witness quickly repositions to keep it in frame for nearly a full minute before it eventually fades away into the distance. Because of the late hour and poor lighting, the actual shape of the object is impossible to determine, leaving its true appearance uncertain. Speculation about the footage soon followed. As with many reflective UFO sightings, some suggested it could have been a simple mylar balloon. Others pointed out how intensely reflective the object appeared, especially against the dark sky. Its odd coloration also drew attention, glowing in a way that seemed unusual for something so high above the ground. The idea of it being a drone or conventional aircraft was largely dismissed, as no navigation lights were visible and the object lacked the flashing strobes typical of planes. Skeptics, however, noted that throughout the recording, the object never made any abrupt maneuvers. They argued its steady movement indicated it was likely something man-made misidentified as unusual. Believers countered that its glow and coloration were too strange to dismiss, insisting it was something out of the ordinary. As days passed, online discussion around the sighting quickly faded. Without further evidence or follow-up reports, the case remains unresolved. The next sighting takes us to August 17th, 2025 in New Belgrade, Serbia, where a mysterious object was caught on video. The witness described it as perfectly spherical, slightly larger than a basketball, hovering silently about 100 feet above the ground. While the video doesn't show it clearly, he recalled a faint reddish-orange glow on its underside, which made him dismiss the idea of it being a balloon. According to his report, the orb eventually drifted slowly over nearby buildings before disappearing. In fact, after the video was shared online, one Reddit user commented that he had seen the exact same type of object twice in Germany, most recently just weeks before the Serbian sighting. His daughter even claimed to have observed similar orbs on at least 3 separate occasions. Despite numerous similar sightings of orbs worldwide, this incident remains unexplained.
All right now, so I played that so you wouldn't feel alone. And the next couple of Tuesdays, we're gonna be going over this. And the last Tuesday of this month, we got a really special show for y'all. All right. I wanted to do this for the homie. I wanted to do this for him. I'm glad I did. And this is a really serious topic. Like I said, I'm unbiased. I'm Dreadlock Spidey. We Dreadlock Spidey today. When I put this on, I'm at a service for the people. I'm glad we did the research of it. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do is go over some 4 important things that's going on in the world right now, and then we'll probably have a little bit of small talk and then close out because time is essential, and we got a lot of it. But the energy of this show is so massive, and it's just so it's a blessing to be here, but I got something to do, so I gotta close out a little earlier. But the 4 things the 4 most important things that's going on in the world today is in major current events in the world, Russia and India begin joint military drill in Rajasthan. A joint military drill. Russia and India. I don't think that's old news. Ain't they already been acquainted?
But it's always something pop up over there. So Yep.
Tanzania police are investigating a reported abduction of a government critic.
Whoa. That's all a critic, not a reporter, just a critic.
A critic.
Wow. I didn't know they were snatching critics now.
A critic.
I know the reporters was getting killed all in Mexico. Man,
I wonder who he critiqued. What
see
did
what
he
I'm
say?
saying? Wow. He talked bad about somebody enough they killed him.
Or what he leaked. It was something he probably shouldn't have been leaking.
That's right.
Brazil's finance minister confirms studies of eliminating public transportation fees.
Wow.
Yep.
So everybody just get on the bus ride for free, and the state pays the workers.
I guess so.
I mean, come on now. I mean, that's cool. I mean, like other countries, like we have to pay for our own health care. You got places like over in Saudi, you know what I'm saying? Man, they pay for the people, everybody's health care and everything. You know, it's just different locations and different countries got different laws for their people. You know, like over here, we have to pay for our own health care. Other countries, they pay for your health care.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. But you like it. You love it. You love it.
Hey.
Donald
I
Trump.
get Medicaid. So.
A newly elected mayor in Germany is found with several stab wounds.
Whoa.
And y'all, I took that back. There's just a couple of points I want to stress. But those are like amongst the four most important things that's going on in the world.
Right.
Because I want to pull something out. I want to pull the bookmark out. Real quick. Because there was something that this was saying. It was saying avoid tunnel vision. I don't know if we went over this yesterday, but avoid tunnel vision, especially, especially what we went over today. Another problem experienced by many observers of nature is tunnel vision. This is the preconditioned tendency to look for one thing or a set of things in the environment to the exclusion of all other things. One of the reasons so many hunters get shot every year is that many of them have conditioned themselves to seeing deer and nothing else. They have set their minds so intensely on seeing deer that almost any movement registers as something to shoot at. In moments of high expectation, just because you see them flying in the sky don't mean shoot at them.
Right.
In moments of high expectations, such as this, it makes little difference to the unthinking person, whether the animal is a deer, a cow, or a human being in a red coat. Another example of this is the bird watcher or botanist who has trained him or herself to detect the smallest sign of a particular specialty, but lets almost everything else go by.
Right.
I often take my instructors, those who help teach my classes on I often take my instructors, those who help teach my classes on nature walks, and it is always interesting to me that if I tell them in advance that we are going on an edible plant walk, all they see is edible plants. I have to keep reminding them not to have tunnel vision. On one walk, I pointed out a number of edible plants and got the usual quick and cocksure answers on their names and uses.
Whoa.
What's that? I asked. Garlic mustard, answered my instructors. What's that? Burdock. They answered, but they did not see. Finally, in frustration, I said, take a closer look. They went up closer and still saw only the burdock. Closer, I said. They went closer, still, until finally they were standing only a few feet from the plant. Then, just as they bent over, a rabbit jumped out from beside the burdock and scampered away. The rabbit was not the first thing they had missed. Every one of the edible plants I had pointed out had something unusual about it. An animal in its shadow, buds nipped by a deer, a bird nest at its base, something anyone could have seen if they had not been blinded by tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is very much like looking at something the same way each time, but it is even more extreme because you go out with the intention of seeing a particular thing, and that intention shuts the mind off from everything else.
Right.
The antidote for this is malady. Malady is the same as that for dealing with familiar objects. Vary your vision.
Whoa.
So that was out the bookmark. How you doing today?
I wonder whoever wrote that book had a PhD.
Tom Brown.
I bet you they did.
Tom Brown. The man who gave it to me had a PhD.
Right.
He was He was the first generation Green Beret, 18Z. Did 3.5 tours in Vietnam.
Whoa.
Was my dude.
No doubt.
He's still living too. The only man in life I ever heard say, "I just can't die." Man told me some stories. So we was talking about flying objects, and we had some testimonies and all that today. And one major conclusion that I've come to is there's commonalities. Well, the major conclusion for me is what we all want. We know that there's flying objects. They're not unidentified. Now that we know that they're here, now that we know that they're real, I want to know where they're coming from. So who's the operator?
You already said it.
You believe so?
They coming from up under the sea. You already said it.
I think the operator is just probably a human being, and it's a legacy of these pilots that have been piloting this. I don't think that it's like some big mysterious person. I think that the vehicle that they operating is magnificent, but I think it's a legacy of people that know how to operate it.
Right.
And they just keep it going, and they don't reveal who does it, and they try to keep their identities unknown because they don't want to get it into the wrong. They don't want it to get into the wrong hands.
Wow.
And I don't know, maybe every so often they get caught trying to do something. This is in Islam is like this. There is a group of people called the beings called the unseen. Right. Some are righteous, some aren't. Mm-hmm. I think maybe there are beings that are being vicegerents to God's green earth, and you ain't gonna catch them.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. The United States government is already working with them. You see what I'm saying? The government know they here, and they been.
Some ain't righteous, some are righteous. There's a guy named Steve Passio that he used to be a minister in the Satanic Temple, but he breaks down a lot of he says that. And some of these agencies and organizations, when you get to and you know this, when you get to the higher levels, some of the entities that you're dealing with ain't even human.
That's right.
And it definitely in the Quran speaks of he's the Lord of the worlds, which means there's more than just humans. That's right. Especially since I'm taught that we were like the last of the creation. Mm-hmm. So there's been other beings that live. We don't know when they're supposed to die, but they can live a long time. There are things that we don't know. There are things that we don't understand. Exactly. There are things that we will never get the answer to. And there's a lot of people's egos get in the way of wanting to be the scientist that can figure this out before the other scientists. There's no telling what's happened behind closed doors to keep these secrets. That, in some of the movies, we probably had some of these visitors come and be friendly, and some idiot shoots them because he thought they were going to, and then that started a beef. Because even if they are aliens, if you done killed my cousin and you're a human being, they're probably thinking why do the humans hate us? And we're coming down there trying to help them with their pollution and their vegetation. Right. It's a lack of communication.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
The tunnel vision thing.
Yep. Exactly.
Is there anything, you can grab a microphone, anything you want to add to the conversation? Because it's going to be hard to hear you.
From all the way over there. Is that cuz you got with you?
What's up? What's up? It's big too. Her crib is big.
What's up? What's up? Web, you doing? Web up with you.
Nothing.
So speak us your piece on this.
Speak my piece. Well, I do want to touch on a situation when you was other beings. If you understand nature too, earth, plants, and animals, those are also other beings. You know what I'm saying? Those are also other energies, other essence that are still here on the earth too. But let's say this. I want to touch into your little government conspiracy, okay? Let's say, hypothetically, that the government grew or raised a colony of people outside of the earth's atmosphere, right? If they were to somehow escape or come to the planet, would they be considered aliens because they were not raised on the land? They did not eat off the land. They may have eaten things that they took up there, from Earth and all of that.
Right.
But will those brothers and sisters be considered aliens? Are those aliens or are they still humans? Because at the end of the day, they still have 10 fingers, 10 toes. They still have babies. They look just like you and me. But if they so-called, hypothetically, were outside in a space understanding colony, would they be considered aliens? Yeah. Because they consider people who so-called lived they consider people who lived underground fallen ones and aliens. So what are the people of the sky? Because they still humans, though.
When you want me to answer the question?
They still humans.
You're asking me the question?
Yeah, I want to hear the answer. Yeah.
I mean, I guess they be alive. They still be beings. But we're talking about extraterrestrial. We understand that animals on the planet. Don't they count as extraterrestrial?
All of them is God's
I would say that what we see flying around, if we created that, then we should be able to be able to take down the flying objects. They shouldn't be something we couldn't catch. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that whatever's operating that is something that we made here on Earth. Mm-hmm. I don't think that we're not capable to make clones. I'm pretty sure that that's possible.
How they not capable? But they already cloning animals.
I said
They are.
I said I don't think that we're not capable of doing it.
We are. They already doing it.
And
they doing it for you as military
I know this.
Soldiers.
I understand that they
military soldiers.
Let me speak. If y'all gonna ask me the questions, let me answer them. I didn't say they wasn't doing it. I said I don't think that they can't do it. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
They can.
So as far as them, whatever they create, they would be clones. But I don't think that the clones that they create are smart enough to operate the vessels that are moving around.
Hey man, only thing I can say is 3 different kinds of them extraterrestrials, as far as I know, and I got all my information off the web. You see what I'm saying? And I do believe it because I saw one personally. And only thing I can say is, if they out there, the government know they out there. The government is working with these dudes, man. That's why we seeing so much of them right now. And not only that, the government been doing research off them vessels that they've been finding, man.
They've been researching
the government got them flying saucers out there, man.
But they've been doing that shit since like the fucking 70s. They've been stealing alien technology from Roswell when they first started exposing UFOs and extraterrestrial.
Have people had interactions with these beings? I believe they
What do you mean it's 1,000 reality shows? 1,000 shows right now, bro, where people talking about they getting abducted, sharing their videos, footage. Like, I seen 3 different reality shows.
Okay, that's fine, but this is what I'm saying. This is my statement. That's okay, they're being abducted. This is my statement, clearly, is that I believe that we've had interactions with them.
Right.
But the agencies in this country have had interactions with them, and some have been recorded. Some of them haven't, depending on the people that they interact with or who they're interacting with.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying that those beings from wherever they're at, I look at it just like just like the CIs or police interact with snitches on the street, I think some individuals who are from those planets might interact with certain sergeants from certain departments.
Right.
And they try to cover it up, and then certain stuff is at disclosure. I don't think that they're so much different than us that the reason why they deal with each other isn't for the same gain or desire. But I don't believe in no fallen angels. There's going to be different perspectives on that. I don't believe in no fallen angels. But my one question, like I said, my only one question that don't nobody know, we can argue, we can debate about it, but don't nobody know who's operating the vehicle.
That's right.
And until we know who's operating the vehicle, we're going to continue to be in speculation.
Well, do you have hypotheticals? What's the hypothetical you think was leading the vehicle? You know what I'm saying? What's the hypothetical?
What if you checked and did your research and found out that the government had 2 alien bodies that crashed,
they do,
and they had the bodies, and were doing experiments.
They can do
all crossing human DNA with them niggas.
Okay, but how do they know how?
Them niggas.
But they don't know unless they go to that planet. They won't know how that DNA worked for real.
if they can bust down the structure, and
Then how come they can't catch it?
bro, let me tell you
They
something.
got lucky and
When
caught
God
two that
made
died.
man, he didn't make us. He made us with a process. He made us to be like he wanted us to be.
Right.
He didn't want to give us enough intelligence to do all the
You
stuff
know,
that we.
man, that right there would be an opinion.
You see what I'm saying?
But when they had those two bodies, those could have been weak soldiers that told those could have been some clones that they sent to do whatever it is they were supposed to do. That probably ain't even who they really are.
Man.
I'm telling you, man, they got people that
You don't know where they coming from. You don't know what you up against. You just know what you've seen so far. Those could be just like when the government goes and sends recons. Those could have been some damn recons that their king or their emperor sent that they don't give a damn about. Just like Genghis Khan used to send
If
out.
I saw him, the government already done saw him. That's all I got to say. They already know he heard. If I know they heard, they know they heard.
They go 13 miles per hour. They can cut
slaughterment
through
of
the
power.
air. We can barely even fly a plane without breaking our neck like that.
But that's what you seeing, bro.
But these
You
were
don't
God's
know.
sons
Wait a minute.
before he
No, bro,
said, "Let
that's
there
what
be
you
light."
seeing. But bro, that's what you seeing.
it were beings
the
out
government
there
do
before he
got
said,
their
"Let there be light."
technology.
They
Oh, my
don't
mama-
have that.
Oh my mama, the government do
They
got
don't
their
have
technology.
that.
What they not showing
The
you?
man just got on there and said it. They don't have nothing that moving that fast, dog. They don't.
not finna tell you.
They
you
don't
know why
have
they
it.
not finna tell you? Look,
They don't
you
have
know why
it.
they ain't finna tell you? Because they been using them.
And I think you put too much faith in the government.
No, it ain't
I
faith.
think you think
It
they
ain't
too
faith. You
impossible
gotta
to
think
beat.
Africa got the #1 in mining. They got the #1 in technology. Look at China's motherfucking
In this
trains.
world.
Wait a minute. Look at China's motherfucking trains. China got metal where they trains can go so fast that they will not
What's up,
burn.
bro?
They been making government ships. They been testing hydraulics, air
And what does that have to do with the extraterrestrial science that's coming
been
here?
fighting them. They not finna tell America what's really going on.
They go thousands of miles faster than us. They've lived way longer than us. We are a spectacle in their intelligence. That's what it is with you humans. Y'all think
With
y'all
you
undefeatable
humans.
and know everything.
with you humans.
Right.
So the essence of what we have, what we know to nature, like animals when they can feel a flood, or birds that fly south for the winter every year because
Well, this is what I say.
off of
What they have
instinct,
is beyond
they know
us.
what's going on with the earth. You don't think that humanity is opening
They're not
up.
from
What is it
Earth.
called? The Great Awakening.
They're in
The
a solar
Great
system.
Awakening.
This is a planet in a solar system. They're
Okay,
not from
but-
Earth. They probably see more, smell more. If they're like a life-size spider, their intuition is different. You don't know them creatures' biology or their chemistry. Your guess is as good as mine.
The
They know
government
our
do.
biology and chemistry,
The
though.
government do.
And the government damn sure knows something
They know.
about them.
Their body temperatures could be completely different.
It is. They don't even talk. If you met a being that can just communicate with you without moving their lips or having any vocal things, that's what they do. You dig what I'm saying? They are the chosen ones before God let there be light.
You don't know that.
know.
Prove it. Where you get it from?
Because
It's called essence.
God got mad when his sons came down and made love to the
That's
earth.
called
It's
insanity.
Genesis chapter 5, I think. God got mad when his sons came down and made love to the earth.
Well, we already know
Check
that. I
out
don't
that.
believe that.
Check that out, though. That's in the
Angels
Bible.
don't even have damn genitalia. So how they gonna have
You said
kids?
So will you
his
believe?
sons.
Wait a minute.
I don't believe he got
Okay,
kids.
so you don't believe that, but would you believe that when they dug up the graves in Egypt and shipped the mummified bodies over here to America, that they used cloning back then to actually try
Yeah.
to actually try to
people back from the
reclone and manifest their own lives of their own live walking and breathing ancestors, but yet they try to say they own them because they cloned them with their technology.
But they knew about
With
the
their
dead.
technology.
They had the
So now
the
you got
process, the book
royal-
of dead,
Yeah.
the book of
Yeah.
dead.
Oh
the book
my
of life.
God.
Yeah.
They had it
And
all
do you
back
know that the magician had all the magicians, and what did Musa Saleh Salam do? He threw down that staff and it took them all out. They probably got some power, but they ain't that.
Right.
They ain't that.
We can understand when you put religion in there and what you was taught and what you believe in, it'll make you feel totally different about the situation.
And
I
understand
didn't say that
science.
mankind
You feel me?
couldn't create. I didn't say that. I just said that it only will go so far.
Right. But you still can't put religion in this.
I can put whatever I want in
You
it.
can't put
You
religion
can't
in
put
this
religion
because
in
Why
this.
not?
this
Because
got
there's some
something to
people
do-
who is their
this
religion
got
to
something
rape a baby
to
every
do
Sunday. It's their religion.
with-
It's
That's
their
that's their
understanding.
behavior,
No,
not their
no, bro,
religion.
No, this is what they believe though. Like this the reality
Where?
of life.
Show
You
me.
talking about secret societies and secret
Show
understandings?
me. Show me where.
No,
show
you
me
not
where it
finna
says
see
that.
You not finna
Show me.
see that, bro.
You can't
Come
prove
on.
it.
You not finna see that, bro.
Show me. Show me where it say that's in their religion to rape little kids.
Bro, it's 1,001 occulted religions a day that
Can-
get shut
can you-
down by
can
the
you-
government.
Oh, okay.
Can
They
you-
get
can
shut
you-
down
It's
by
an
the
occult.
police.
It's a cult.
Can you
Okay.
believe that somebody can die, leave their body, go to hell or heaven, and come back and tell you a story about what happened to them? Can you believe that?
Do you
Whether
believe
I
that?
believe it or not, it doesn't matter that it doesn't. It doesn't mean it can't happen.
Okay.
I'll say I have no knowledge of that.
You just say it
You
don't
say
hap-
it don't. Okay.
You don't
So
have,
you don't-
I can't say that it happens or not.
You have to be 100% certain and saw with your own eyes to know that anything that's a fact to you. You can't just understand that shit.
I said I can't
shit
say
was
that it
going
happened
on
or it
before you was
didn't.
born.
I
You put
said
on this
that it
earth.
can't happen or that it can. That's what I said. That's what I said.
Okay,
And possibly so, because I'm from the show me state.
right. We all are.
Do you believe that I'm Spider-Man?
I believe you play Spider-Man character. So, of course, I
He
think
believes
you
in
could be
that
Spider-Man.
character of Spider-Man.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Get some shout outs.
Hell yeah. What's up, y'all? This your boy, Bay Jr., Stronger Than Ever, the podcast. You know I came through to kick it with Spidey. You dig what I'm saying? My show getting ready to start 7 to 8. No doubt, y'all tap in, man. This has been a great show.
Yes, and this is Ish the Goddess. Catch me on Ish the Goddess. Shout out to Spidey once again, dropping the knowledge and the facts. Check me out, y'all.
All right, now thanks for tuning in. Be back next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and we're gonna be talking about something like this once again.
Peace.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like